So the title of today's video is Why Did PJ Hall Fail? And it's a bit of a double entendre, which why did he fail his physical as well as why has he failed so far during his NFL career? So I reached out to some Raiders people as well as some Vikings people that whose opinions I know and respect. And apparently for the Raiders, he reported overweight and there was some question about him being dialed in over his first two seasons with the silver and black. So it's clear why the Raiders were going to cut him. Vikings decided, like, yeah, we'll give a 7th round pick so we don't have to fight the market, secure his rights, blah, 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 all that stuff. And then he came in and failed his physical. Now, we talked yesterday that we speculated it was probably weight and conditioning issues as opposed to something medical, since he didn't end the season with an injury. That hasn't been word about him having an offseason injury either. So it's probably the culprit in this situation. And, you know, the whole thing of, well, he's lazy, it's work ethic, it's this and that. That's something that gets bandied about a lot about players by fans and by the media. Maybe even like a blanket statement. But I think it may be worth it to dive in a little bit deeper on why PJ Hall hasn't worked out in the NFL so far. Also, I don't think the door's completely closed on PJ Hall. I wouldn't put it past Rick Spielman, even though I'm sure that there's some sort of NFL stipulation in this where fails the physical, nixes the trade. They knew that the Raiders were going to cut him anyway. Probably scare teams off after they heard they failed the physical. So then all of a sudden, in a couple like week 4, week 5, when the Vikings still need some defensive line help, Vikings just scoop up PJ Hall and they don't have to give up that 7th round pick. And his contract isn't guaranteed since after week 1. But yeah. But the whole question of, does he love football? Does he do this? Does he do that? Well, I think that at a certain level, when you come into the league, especially after you dominated the FCS level, which he did at Sam Houston State University, go Bearcats, where your team makes the FCS playoffs for 4 straight years. You have 42 sacks. You block 14 friggin' kicks. And you're just an absolute dominating rock star. I mean, to a degree, that does breed some complacency. And it does show up potentially in work ethic as well as in technique. Because even though the Raiders probably did overdraft him in the second round, 2018, number 57 overall. They're banking on that potential. They're like, hey, once he steps up a level of competition, he'll be good to go. But some players, and you see this too, like, do you remember Little League? Just think back to your time in Little League. There was always one dude who could throw like high 70s before anyone had facial hair. He hit his growth spurt early, was just absolutely dominating and just destroying fools in Little League, right? But then sometimes that guy doesn't work on his game, and as other kids catch up to him in growth spurts, and the ones that actually had to put in work, actually had to learn technique, actually had to get better, all of a sudden they just lap his ass, and then all of a sudden he's just a guy. I think that may be the case here with PJ Hall, where PJ Hall in college, like was said, just absolutely destroyed, just was able to show up, was able to outquick his opponents and just completely dominate, right? And to a degree, I mean, if you see it happen a lot with like high school stars, all of a sudden they get to college, I think they're going to be big man on campus, and except they're part of a 100-man roster, and they're sitting 17th on the depth chart of their respective position. Best of luck to you. And I think that did cross over with PJ Hall, where you have a situation where you're used to being the man, you're used to being the guy, you're used to being top tier and just showing up and dominating, but you can't do that. You can't do that in the NFL. And also, to a degree, I think that happened with Laquan Treadwell, where Treadwell, you remember, coming out of the Chicago area, was a premier, top-tier, 5-star, top-flight recruit. Went to Ole Miss, dominated the big bad SEC, even coming out off that horrific injury. Still put up a 1,000-yard season in the toughest division of the toughest conference in college football. So he came in as a first-round pick to the Vikings, and all of a sudden, he's getting lapped on the depth chart. He's not getting the time of day. He's getting beat out by a UDFA nobody from Mankato State University Community College, as well as a 5th-round pick from Maryland. As well as Cordero and Jarius Wright. So, I mean, that has to hurt the ego. And when you do face adversity, it does reveal character. And you can go 2 different directions. I think PJ Hall and Treadwell went in 2 different directions. PJ Hall decided, meh. Where Treadwell, respect, Treadwell, after that initial punch in the face where he proves that, oh, I'm going to have to step my game up, he worked his ass off, maybe almost to a fault, right? And actually think that he could work out with him and the Falcons. So once you face adversity, it's like a fork in the road, like which way are you going to choose? Treadwell chose to work his ass off, and PJ Hall decided to go the other way. So I don't know. It's just rough because it is so odd for a team to give up on such a high draft pick, a second rounder, after 2 seasons. There has to be some significant reasons behind the scenes, and from what we're hearing, it's just not putting in the work, not dialed in. A lot of talent. We saw in the film breakdown, dude has NFL strength for days, as well as that closing speed is absolutely ridiculous. He has every single seconds worth of that 4.71 40, but just works out. It doesn't work out. I mean, sometimes you can have all the talent in the world, all the physical attributes, and if you don't work hard, was it hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard? That could be exactly the situation with PJ Hall, and that's why he's failed so far. All right, but your thoughts. Why has PJ Hall failed? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Pull some of the Venmo. But until next time, Skull, production value.